We have been watching this video since yesterday of a clash between Indian and Chinese soldiers. No, not the latest one, but gives us an idea of the area, gives us an idea of how the two respective armies really engage, interact, behave when this kind of situation happens. You think this latest round of salami slicing that the Chinese have tried and failed gives them an idea now that post-Galwan, India is not the same, Indian response is not the same?
Abhishek and Gaurav will know this from first hand. The problem was that in the past, previous governments used to adopt a policy of basically turning the other cheek. Commanders who were, in a sense, I wouldn't call them aggressive, but I would call them determined to back the Indian interest and to safeguard Indian sovereignty. These commanders were at a disadvantage compared to commanders who deferred to higher orders to basically stand down in several of these cases. And that's where a lot of the salami slicing occurred. After Galwan, quite frankly, and in fact since 2014, when Prime Minister Modi took over, but definitely much more after Galwan, it was made clear that, look, as far as you are concerned, you are there and you'll defend the motherland. And as Home Minister Shah said very recently, not even a square inch will be surrendered. So you have those orders. Now that is an order from the top. And what we are seeing here is that order being carried out. The fact is, as again Gaurav will testify, the Indian soldier is battle hardened. The Indian soldier has faced, dangerous odds throughout his time in service. India has been engaged in asymmetric warfare, and Indian troops have been rotated in this kind of warfare so that they have become experts of it. For the Chinese, the last time they fought a major war was in 79. As correctly said by you, Abhishek, they are used to taking over by stealth, by intimidation, and by blackmail, rather than by armed force. So now what they're happening is, especially after Galwan, the Indian soldier has recognized this enemy for what it is, an enemy that will basically do anything to achieve the objective. And what is the objective? I want to flag a point here. Why Yangtze? Why? Because of simple reason that the Chinese Communist Party leadership is worried that, God forbid, something should happen to the Dalai Lama. The next Dalai Lama may have been born in Tawang or close by Tawang. So they are very worried about that, because if that happens, obviously that Dalai Lama will have tremendous amount of spiritual credibility. And that is why the danger specifically to Tawang, I would like to point out. The second point is, again, as Major Arya knows, the Chinese PLA has been trying to improve its position all across the line of actual control. In a sense, improve its position so that if push comes to shove, they will be at advantage. They have met a steel wall, which is the indomitable spirit of the Indian soldier.
Yeah, go.
So my question to you is, Professor Nalapad, sir. My question is, there were combat air patrols which were flying, sir. The Air Force got into action, and you're very well aware that we have a Rafale base at Hashimara. So we had the Sukhois, we had the Rafales, we had every possible fighter platform in the air. Was this just messaging to the Chinese? Was there a credible threat? And push comes to shove. What should you think the Air Force should have done at that point in time, depending upon the aggressive posture of the PLA?
Well, if the PLA came forward and entered Indian territory, I think the answer is very, very clear. And the reality is, Gaurav, that in 62, a huge difference could have been made if India had used its air forces. Unfortunately, for some reason, it did not. The Air Force is a very critical mode of war. Air Force, Navy, and the Army have to work seamlessly with the security services, with the civilians around for fighting a war. And I'd like to say one thing very clearly. If you look at the number of Indian flags that are raised on August 15th every year, you will find, it's safe for me to say, the maximum number of our tricolor flags are raised in Tawang. The people there are well aware of what is happening in Tibet. They are well aware of what is happening to their Buddhist faith. And that is why you will see the maximum number of Indian flags raised on August 15 in Tawang. The population there understands the importance of protection by the military. Our military now has understood the foe, and very importantly, our leadership understands the danger very well and frankly is willing to confront it.